and welcome to the first Eye of the Tiger of the 2021-2022 school year. I'm Emma Watson.
And I'm Zach Delemgum.
After a year and a half of distance learning, students have finally returned to campus in full force. It's different to see nearly 2,000 kids on campus after being on Zoom for so long.
With students returning to campus fully in person, the school struggled to keep up with the high capacity of students in Roar. We go to Jake Finn with more on the story.
Roar common areas have been reaching capacity since school has opened.
Yes. Yeah. Walking across from the portables always takes at least like 3-4 minutes, and even when we get there, there's always a massive line. For example, the cafeteria. And today, well, most days it's hard to get in because of the distance. And I have to walk that far.
Zhang is forced into one of his core classes due to the capacity.
This has happened many times before. Every Roar period, I walk here and then we just get told go to first, second, third, whatever the priority period is that day, because it always gets filled in by the time we get there.
Zhang's solution could be the result of students being able to get into more common areas.
Up more common areas. For example, since like the library's closed right now, maybe have someone monitor Senior Square to make sure no one's just messing around out there and keeping the noise level down.
Assistant Principal Pipitone talks about the role requirements and being able to participate in Roar.
So in order to be entered into one of the common areas, students need to have a C or better in that day's priority period. And it needs to be a C or better by like 8 o'clock that morning, right? Because we pull the data at about 8 o'clock each morning, and what it is at that point is what it is. We don't look at what a kid's phone says necessarily. We're just basing it off that snapshot.
Pipitone explains one of the main problems in Roar with kids not being in their class.
Now I would say one of the biggest difficulties we're having is students actually being in class once we're in Roar. There's this notion that Roar is somehow optional, or that they don't have to go, so it's a lot of bodies just kind of wandering around during the Roar time.
The school hopes to be able to accommodate more students in the future.
Alongside common areas filling up, the Roseville air quality has been reaching unhealthy levels. We go to Carson Moore with the story.
Since July, many parts of California have been hit by wildfires. With the day-to-day uncertainty of the air quality, the smoky air runs interference with the life of students and staff at Roseville High School.
It's affected my breathing pretty badly. I mean, it limits me from sports, going outside. I mean, I'm an asthmatic, so it's like really hard to be outside. So I have to wear the mask constantly because it helps a little bit, but it's just really consuming with the lungs.
The poor weather conditions also cause setbacks for extracurricular activities which take place outdoors. Band must practice outside rather than in the band room due to changes put in place for COVID safety.
So especially like for winds, like it can be a little difficult like being in the smoke and everything because we have to take in so much air for everything. So that's been a little bit difficult.
On August 27th, JV and varsity football had their home opener canceled due to the AQI rising above 150, the school's required level to cancel the game. It would have been their first game at home with fans since 2019.
You have your lesson plans, your practice plans. You could kind of control how the day flows, and with the air quality, from a coaching perspective, we haven't been able to control anything. We've kind of been at the mercy of the wind. You know, there's people that are losing their houses, and people are getting moved and evacuated from South Lake Tahoe. So losing a game is such a small, insignificant thing to what the people up in Tahoe are going through, but it's not fun.
Air quality continues to fluctuate, meaning sports and activities have to continue monitoring conditions daily.
And now we go over to Joseph Bianchini with sports.
Good morning, and welcome to this school year's first edition of EOTSN. I'm Joseph Bianchini. After a school year filled with challenges for high school sports, it seems as though normality has been mostly restored. Roseville's football team got off to a great start this year in their domination over Oakmont, winning 42-7. Ryan Graydon finished the game with a near flawless performance, totaling 256 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. His younger brother, Brandon Graydon, finished with 209 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns himself. The next week, Placer was supposed to come to town, but due to the poor air quality caused by wildfires scorching across California, the game was canceled. Roseville was given a bye for that week, and now are scheduled a home game against Stagg High School on their original bye week being October 8th.
Then, this last Friday, Roseville took on Rio Linda, easily beating them 56-0. Roseville's run game is what really lifted them to their victory, led by Ricky Bassinelli and Brandon Graydon. Bassinelli had 92 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Graydon had 143 yards and 1 touchdown.
Roseville goes to Lincoln to play the Fighting Zebras this Friday. Roseville's girls volleyball team started their year in a solid way as well, going 2-2 at their opening tournament of the year. From there, they would take home a win against Pleasant Valley, followed by consecutive losses against Chico and St. Francis. Then from there, the team would take a win against West Park, followed by a loss against Granite Bay. They start league play at Wood Creek tomorrow. Cross country started the year on August 21st with a meet at Sierra College. Roseville freshmen Bailey Nogart and Grace Williams finished 10th and 11th for freshman girls, while sophomores Aragon Tyrenia and Boston Tarble finished in the same places for sophomore boys. Additionally, junior Alex V. Hill took home an 8th place finish among all junior boys at the meet. In terms of sports for this upcoming week, girls golf has a meet against River Valley today, followed by a match against Yuba City on Thursday. Water polo meets Laguna Creek tomorrow at home, followed by their annual Sierra Shootout at Sierra College from Friday to Saturday. They also travel to McClatchy on Monday. Girls tennis meets Indercombe today and Wood Creek on Thursday. Cross country has a meet at Nevada Union this Saturday. Girls volleyball matches against Wood Creek tomorrow with JV at 5 and varsity at 6. Additionally, they also have away matches at Pleasant Valley and Antelope on Saturday and Monday. And of course, the football team goes up north to play an always tough Lincoln team this Friday. And that's all on your home for sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Joseph. Over the summer, many movies, TV shows, and new albums dropped and were much anticipated. On the movie side of things, 3 big movies dropped: Fast and Furious 9, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Suicide Squad. Out of all 3 of those movies, the biggest movie that dropped was Fast and Furious 9. It was a much anticipated movie after a great 8th movie, but it was just not great. Everyone was so excited to see all the main characters back at it again, especially Dom Toretto, but in reality, the movie was just eh. On the TV side of things, 3 big TV shows dropped: Outer Banks Season 2, All-American Season 3, and Loki Season 1. Outer Banks Season 2 was by far the most anticipated show out of all 3 of those. It was a great show and a great season, after following a fantastic Season 1. On the music side of things, Olivia Rodrigo controlled the summer with her freshman breakout album that teenagers across the country had on repeat. The dynamic pop-punk sound of this album had people of all walks tuning in to listen. She had songs that invoked a more deep emotion and others that had a lot of chaotic dance energy. Kanye has tied up this summer by essentially assembling the Avengers of the rap game to produce an auditory art piece. Speaking of Kanye, he and Drake's long-standing beef has recently reignited. This kind of attention was perfect for the release of the Certified Lover Boy that was released last Friday. For a more in-depth look on the current music climate, tune in to next week's broadcast. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Chris. This year will be the last year for a longtime Roseville High School teacher. We go to Connor Baker with more on the story.
Social science teacher and cross-country coach John Coleman is retiring from teaching after 31 years. Although his teaching career has been long, Coleman knew he wanted to retire around the year 2021 from the day he started.
Well, it all started the first year I started teaching. The good old boys in the teacher lunchroom used to tease me. It said, "So kid, when are you retiring? 2021, 2022?
Coleman is grateful for all the students and teachers he's got to work with over the years.
I have worked with some amazing kids. I've also worked with some amazing teachers and had a great time doing what I do.
Not only does Coleman admire his students, but his students also admire him.
I love him. He's an amazing teacher. He's like laid back, but like he also gets the class going, you know.
Coleman has not only impacted students as a teacher, but also as a coach.
I think as a coach, he pushes you a lot. He always wants more from you. Even if you think that you're giving your all, he's gonna say, no, do more. You can always do more.
Coleman's students are grateful for him and wish him the best during his retirement.
I would say that you're a wonderful person, Mr. Coleman, and I'm so honored to have gotten to know you.
I wish him the best in his retirement.
Despite his long career of teaching, Coleman is happy with the work he's done and the mark he's left on the students, staff, and the school as a whole.
I think I've done a good job, all in all, and it's time.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say he will be missed.
That's it for us today on Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on at eyeofthetigernews.com. See you next time.